People outside of the UK always think that British schools are like Hogwarts of Harry Potter or something. No! It's just random kids in uniform going to old, outdated buildings to internalize useless information, like how the leaves are green because of a pigment called chlorophyll. Taught by these types of teachers. Nothing really special there, is it? I only wish UK schools had that Hogwarts vibe. That would be the only occasion where I'll actually go to school again. British schools are, let's just say, an interesting experience to say the least. As a guy who was born in the UK, raised in the UK, and still lives in the UK, I only attended British schools. And it's been a while since I've attended high school. And when I mean a while, I mean only 4 years ago. And I don't think it's a wild assumption that school in Britain hasn't changed at all after I left. Hell, you could have finished high school in the UK 50 years ago and the same thing still happens. That's how outdated school in the UK is, but I will expand on that later. Now, I know some get confused with the British schooling system, and some are the Americans, let's be honest. They will ask things like,
what is a year 7? Why y'all call junior and senior year college?
Listen, don't ask me, I didn't make the rules. But let me explain it in a nutshell. We call our elementary school primary school.
Primary school? Y'all British people have the weirdest terms.
Again, like I said, I didn't make the rules. I'm not going to repeat myself again. Alright, back to what I was saying. We call our middle school and high school secondary school. We call our junior and senior years sixth form or college. I hope that short explanation explains it for your undeveloped YouTube shorts, TikTok, low attention span, brain rotted brain. Hey! Don't go clicking off the video right now, baby girl. All students who went to British schools had to wear school uniform. A lot of people despise wearing school uniform. I always hear them saying,
how come American students get to wear their own clothes but we can't wear?
You know, I get where they're coming from. It would be nice to wear your own clothes and show off how stylish and fashionable you are. But in all seriousness, I don't even mind wearing school uniform. But why? Because who can judge if everyone is wearing the same thing? And it's just easy to pick out and wear school uniform. It's all long having to choose what clothes to wear from Monday to Friday. Yeah man, I get it. I am some lazy bum. But I hate how the teachers take students wearing school uniforms so seriously. Honestly, they would examine every minute and intricate detail of how I am wearing my school uniform, eyeing me down like I am the next guest in their basement. If you wear your school uniform in the wrong way, they never fail to get up in your face and repeat,
tuck in your shirt and wear your blazer. You must always come in school looking presentable, not homeless.
Shut up, don't care. Now, school buses does exist in Britain, especially in rural areas, but they ain't as iconic as the yellow school buses that y'all Americans have. Me personally, I took public transport to go to school, and it was free to take buses in particular to go to school, so I couldn't complain. Nah, I am going to complain. Taking those London buses after school was insane. Absolutely insane. Why is it that every time you take the bus home after school, you get those school menaces on the upper deck sitting at the back of the bus playing loud ass devious UK drill music for everyone to hear? These dudes were so annoying. It's not every day you play that music. And you got that one dude from school always eating chicken wings ferociously on the bus. The way they eat their chicken, you think is their last meal. And the worst thing about school transport is missing the bus. It doesn't matter whether before school or after school. The pain of missing a bus might be equivalent to stepping on wet floor with socks on. It's the biggest pet peeve. Imagine running for the bus, going through second-hand embarrassment just to miss it by an inch. At that point, you feel like your world is crumbling. You would have to wait for another bus that would take 40 minutes to arrive, which will inevitably make you late to school, which will ultimately give you a late detention. Now, when you actually arrive to a British school, you notice that everything in the school is old. The buildings, old. The windows, old. The walls, more Asian than Asian Egypt. The tables, the chairs, the playground, I could go on. This isn't the case for every school in the UK, but for the schools that I attended, it most definitely is. The classroom always has broken molded ceilings with holes, and that always used to scare me. What if those holes had spiders or aliens living inside? And the computers were some old Windows computers that were slow as hell. But me and the boys didn't care. During IT class, we would just bang out flash games on those computers. It was so fun. Speaking of classes, anyone that has been to a British school can vouch that every school classroom was laid out like this, with these chairs and these tables. The memories, man. The teachers used to hand out planners for our homework and exercise books for our lessons. We got homework mostly online. When we got maths homework, we had to do it in online platforms like Sparks Maths or Hegarty Maths. I can't believe I am saying this, but doing homework online was probably the only way I could stand doing homework. I couldn't stand papers and textbooks. I just want to rip them all and dump in the bin. And the teachers were all irritating. When you're having a laugh with your mate in class, they would say,
this is not what I expect from you, year 11.
Yeah, as if my time with you women isn't saddening enough. I need to be reminded how many years of life I spent doing this. Also, when the lesson is running, you ask the teacher that you need to go to the toilet, and they unironically say,
why didn't you go at break time?
This question, in my opinion, will always be the stupidest questions that teachers ask. And they all ask this question to this day. It's crazy. Why do teachers think, alongside the millions of other timetables and scheduling that we have, that we also have one that tells us at what time we need to go to the toilet? I suggest you allow me to go to the toilet now, unless if you want your classroom to smell like dog piss and the chairs and floors drenched. Oh, and this is my favorite one.
The bell doesn't dismiss you, I do.
So with that same logic, that means that I can be late to class with no consequences, because if the bell doesn't dismiss me, then it doesn't tell me when to show up either. Right, that's it. I will see you after the lesson. If you want to waste my time, I'll waste yours. And they ain't lying when they say I'll waste yours, because if you misbehave, the teacher will issue you a Saturday detention. Did your school have a Saturday detention? Let me know. After going through this prison Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m, you honestly think I will actually attend a Saturday detention at school? Yeah, you don't know me well. I hated detentions in general. If you're late, you get a detention. If you didn't do your homework, you get a detention. If you slept in class, you get a detention. If you dropped a pencil on the floor, you get a detention. If you drank water without asking the teacher permission, you get a detention. It's not every day you issue detention. Oh my days. And don't get me started on British school assemblies. The principal will be like, good morning, year 7. Morning, Mrs. Waterhouse. I can't hear you. Morning, year 7. Shut up. It's 7 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to shout. School assemblies can be trash or good. There's no in between. If there are guest speakers rambling about their life story or the principal yapping about how appalling our behavior is as a year, then it's trash. If they brought guest speakers like Megan Fox or Madison Beer, then it's good. It's also good when there are school talent shows, school culture days, or graduation assemblies. Those assemblies always hit, bro. But it has to be run by some random dude farting which stinks up the whole hall. Anyways, enough of school assemblies. Let's talk about school exams. Now, British schools have a thing called SATs and GCSEs. SATs are basically final exams for primary school, and GCSEs are final exams for secondary school. However, I want to focus on GCSEs. GCSEs are kind of a big deal because they are valued by sixth form, colleges, universities, and employers. So it's in your best interest to pay attention to every lesson, because the topics on those lessons will lead up to those final exams. Except it doesn't. When you open up that exam paper, most of the questions on that exam paper are questions that you never learn in class, and that will be the most annoying thing in the world. I have just studied hard on a topic you teachers taught. Why am I seeing things on the exam paper that we never learned in class? So pro tip, for students who are taking their GCSEs, when a teacher says that the exact topics they taught come up in the exam, take that statement with a pinch of salt and revise every topic imaginable in that example so you're fully prepared. After exams, British secondary school graduation was actually elite. The last day of school was phenomenal. We would have these awesome school reward assemblies, then we would listen to music and write good luck notes on people's shirts, and then after all of that we'll have school prom. And no, I didn't have a prom date as I didn't have risk during secondary, but I had a good time nevertheless. Now, students finish their GCSEs around end of June and they collect their GCSE results at end of August. No one looked forward to the GCSE results day. Everybody was nervous. You would dare see people walking out to school crying. Some would be very happy and they would be cheering. For me, dog, I just went to school, grabbed my results paper and dipped. I looked at the results on the bus and I had no reaction, as my results were just okay. It wasn't that bad where I had to lie to my African parents about it, but it certainly wasn't as good to be considered in Cambridge University. It was just mid. I barely passed, honestly, and I failed maths. Yes, I was illiterate with maths. Quite embarrassing, but we move. I was just glad secondary school was over. And that wraps everything about British schools in a nutshell. I have a video comparing American schools to British schools, so if you want to watch that, click on screen right now.